And then, of course, there's all the £100 you win for each frame in the round-robin phase. So normally, the winner of a group would expect to pick up around £6,000. Hawkins not on the money with that safety.
One. Brown ball. Martin Gould 1. Cheers, Martin, thank you. Foul. Martin Gould 4.
Well, for a split second there, I thought, apart from the penalty points, Hawkins hasn't done an awful lot of damage, but with a red going over a pocket right at the death, he might well have caused some big damage.
1. Seven.
Came into the tournament in Group 6, did Martin Gould, and started off like a train. In his very first frame yesterday morning, in fact, his very first shot after Zhao Guodong's break-off, Gould made 135 break. Should have been 142 total clearance, but he missed quite a straightforward final black. Always seems to perform well in the Championship League. He's the player who came closest to successfully retaining the title. Won it in 2013.
14.
Beating Ali Carter in the final, 3-2. That was down at Crondon Park Golf Club in Essex. And then the following year, he got to the Winners' Group final again, this time succumbing 3-1 to Judd Trump.
$20. 21. 26.
Didn't quite get hold of the white there. Still has this blind cutback red, but it's more difficult than it should have been. And of course, control with this kind of shot is compromised.
27.
On a sixpence.
$32. $33.
Well, he'll need something special now to continue the break. And I don't think it's advised for him to try a pot. Useful 37-point lead. Run for the hills.
Yellow ball. Martingale 33.
How did the green stay out? On the precipice. When he made contact with that, I'm sure Barry Hawkins thought it was going to be 4 penalty points. That's all it would have been. Wouldn't have made any great material difference to the frame, but the green somehow stayed on the playing surface. The fact that 4 of the remaining reds are on or very close to a cushion is very much in favour of Gould. It's been hard work, this frame. Well, the red down the side rail is not an easy pot, we know that. But if it goes in, at the very least, Gould's got a really good chance to pad his already healthy lead.
One. Cheers. Four.
Well, if he played for the red into the right-hand middle pocket, he was woefully short.
Martin Gould, 4.
Sensibly keeping things tight. It's going to be a lengthy road back into the frame from here for Hawkins. If all of the remaining reds were in the open, no problem. They aren't, though. Far from it.
One.
I tell you what, there wasn't an awful lot of pocket to go for there. Just about found the target. Hit those two reds on the left-hand side of them. Needed to hit them on the right-hand side to break them up and leave one on.
Hawkins, 6. One.
He's always been a tremendous potter from distance, as Martin Gould, one of his great assets, one of his most powerful attributes. That was a quintessential shot to nothing. Natural angle to take the cue ball back into bulk. And now just tucking up behind the green. One of those frames for Hawkins where he's been swimming against the tide. And he continues to do so.
Foul and miss. Martin Gould, 4. Yeah.
Cue ball replaced. Foul and a miss called by referee Rob Spencer.
Yeah.
40 points separates them. Like that 44.
Foul and miss. Martin Gould, 4. Yeah.
That was an inferior attempt to the original. Third time is the charm. Gould playing hardball. He needed cover. He's got none. 5 minutes ago, this table, you looked at it, you thought there's no chance of a clearance. Now, a clearance, well, it would be very good indeed, but it's not beyond the bounds of possibility.
One.
Not an auspicious start, though. Well, he's on the red, but in a different sense to what he wanted to be. He's right on it.
Barry Hawkins through.
If he's got the snooker there, he's been lucky. Didn't play that.
Yes, all right, Martin. I've had a lot, thanks. Yeah, I know.
Just checking.
No, he's just telling me to check if it's touching, that's all. So, yeah, I know. Foul on this. Barry Hawkins full. Yeah.
Now the cue ball will be replaced here because foul and a miss correctly called. It means Rob Spencer has to be extremely accurate because it was touching ball.
Bit further, yeah.
If you leave it there, I can't play that shot.
No, I know. I'm just, obviously, I'm trying to get him touching Martin. That's the trick at the moment, and then I'll roll it round. What's that one?
A little bit further down.
Further this way, yeah. Yeah, bye.
Mutual agreement, steady hand. Well, contact made on the red, but I think he's left it.
What?
In the first frame of the semi-finals over on table 2, Martin Gould won it on the black after needing a couple of snookers, one of which he fluked. Is this going to be payback? Is it going to be Hawkins who steals the frame from nowhere?
Eight.
Where the red is, he would prefer to be right-handed. An awkward position that for a left-hander. But I think he needs the rest. Well, he does definitely need the rest, so maybe he's turned himself into a right-hander in a roundabout way, because he plays, as we said before, right-handed with the rest, with all of the rests. Hawkins can't believe it stayed out. Had that gone, look at the position on the blue and all of the remaining colours. Even though he's 22 points behind, he would have been a big favourite. And what's more, the red came away from the top cushion just enough to make it cuttable.
Oh.
Tantalisingly for Gould, the cue ball is stopped in positional no man's land. Taking on the brown, he needs that and the yellow in addition. Really good pressure pot.
Five. Seven.
29 in front. Make that 32. Only 22 on the table. The first frame has fallen to Gould.
40. $90. 25. 32 in the first frame.
It was a scrappy opening frame. No one could dispute that. In the end, it revolved around the last red. Hawkins had a chance to clear, but he missed it with of incentives. Well, Gould will want an action replay of the opening frame. Perhaps not quite as scrappy, but he'd love the same outcome. Real rattler, that one. When the spin started to take effect on the red, I thought he might have fluked it.
What?
They've opened beautifully. Black, not congested, not hemmed in. Good angle on brown. pink close to a middle pocket.
5. Six.
Well, if he's touching ball on that red and he can't see the black, what a source of irritation. When he played the shot, there was no thought in his mind. He thought he was going to be short of that red, and he just kept trundling on and on the white. End of break. That's a sickener for Hawkins. It really was a great chance. Not only not on a colour to pot one, he's actually played himself into a spot of bother tactically as well. Nothing easy in that regard. Well, he was hoping to take the cue ball into a segment of the table where the pink provided cover for the red over this top pocket. And there is no cover there. Clear path for Gould to get through.
One.
Well, it doesn't look the best of kisses in first light. But he's okay, he's got the pink on and the natural angle to take the cue ball down for the red in bulk.
Seven. Eight.
That, though, was a little clumsy. Off balance, stretching. He's still on green, yellow, brown even. But this is a more difficult pot, especially with the rest, than he should have been leaving for himself. Not just the pot itself either, the positional aspect. When he saw the white coming down the table, he turned away in disgust.
11.
It's one of those matches so far where fluency is proving elusive for both players.
Single 11.
Always had an attacking philosophy, Gould, but bridging over a red like that and trying to get the cue ball out into the table somehow for the pink, that red to middle was not easy. Gould not punished though. Very disjointed snooker. Not one contact on a red, two there, and so to get the cue ball back into baulk was a source of relief. Where the pink is, it's not impossible that reds might start to congregate around that, and we could have a re-rack. Just putting that idea out there.
What?
The idea which of course has been exploded by Gould's outstanding pot on that red. Look at this, what a raking pot. Take that. And then badly overhits his positional effort.
Martin Gould 5.
Well weighted and directed safety from Gould. Now Hawkins, because of the kiss on the brown, will be concerned. Gould from distance is dangerous. Yes, that pot very much in his wheelhouse.
Well,
now I think his path to the pink has been obscured though. But the brown provides an alternative.
five. Six. 12. 13.
A frame not dissimilar to the first. Quite low scoring. Quite bitty. With Gould making the running.
19. $20. $26.
Given the situation of the remaining balls, this is a really useful lead. 36 and counting.
$27. $33.
The joint highest break of the match so far.
$34.
The pink gives Gould a 50-point lead. So one more red and a colour, and he's pretty much over the line.
40.
He would have preferred the cue ball to travel maybe one more inch.
Thanks, Martin.
Well crafted break this.
Go on, cheers. Thank you. 41.
51 points ahead for Hawkins. If he gets back to the table, a possible 51 on. So with 3 reds, 3 blacks and all the colours, he could force a respotted black if he gets the opportunity.
Brown ball.
If the brown goes in, Hawkins will need a snooker. And he does.
$45.
We've seen, I believe it's 24 century breaks this week in the Championship League, but this 45, although modest numerically, has been very well crafted.
Martin Gould. 45.
Gould, 55 to the good, 51 on.
One.
Tried to get the necessary zip on the cue ball there to go into the two reds, but couldn't quite do it.
8. Barry Hawkins 8.
The last thing he wanted was the in-off. Actually, the way he caught the jaws there, he was close to getting a fluke snooker in behind the yellow. Hawkins did the right thing there to try and get the blue into play, because if he does get the snooker and has the chance to clear, an open table clearly would make life easier for him, but the red catching the bump might have spelt the end. Has Gould flukes a snooker. He's certainly blocked on one red by the yellow. I think the other one is blocked by the blue. I think it's frame over now. Almost certainly.
One.
Applied check side.
Full.
And the kiss is just about okay.
Passing go 4. And the frame.
Hawkins 51 adrift, 35 on, needing 4 snookers. Concedes as we expected he would, and so Martin Gould has taken a 2-0 lead in this.
Third frame. Barry Hawkins to break.
It's been a lengthy 4 days for Barry Hawkins. Has he got anything left in the tank for a comeback?
foul. What a miss.
Needed a thin contact, made no contact at all.
By Hawkins' foot.
Now quite easily though, the way he caught the bump, he could have snookered himself or left a free ball. That has been dodged. Thought Hawkins might get Gould to play the shot again from its original position. Instead he goes into bat himself. And that is why he saw the shot, and so after it was conceived it was all about execution. And he did that as well. He's a good potter from distance, Hawkins, normally. But in this final, they've just been rattling on a regular basis. Gould trying to float in this red through some others, past the pink, up to the green pocket. Ooh, very close. But now, I think this is fair to say, it's the best scoring chance of the match so far for Hawkins.
One. Eight. Nine. 60. 70. 24. 25.
Normally you would say incorrect side of the blue, but with a couple of reds down in bulk, one in particular, he's okay.
30. 31.
Well, he needed to avoid that red. Didn't want to make the cannon,
36.
but if it pots past the other red, It's actually worked out okay, more than okay. Worked out to his benefit. And it does go in.
$37. $44. $45.
First half-century break of the final, the highest break, superseding Gould's 45 in the previous frame.
$53.
Now, from his reaction there, he played for the blue. Didn't screw back far enough. That's a recurring theme in the latter stages of this group. It's becoming more and more difficult to impart zip and backspin. The tables aren't as responsive as they were when we came here on Monday morning.
$59. $60.
Hawkins needs this black for a 71-point lead. Bear in mind, though, not just the 5 reds down at this end of the table, but 1 up in bulk as well. So 6 reds left. That means 75 on the table. This is frame ball.
$68.
Well, after 2 staccato frames, this one has been more like it. Fluent.
73. $74. $80.
Failure to make that cannon might well have deprived him of a century.
Barry Hawkins.
Indeed it has.
On the frame.
But with a break of 80, Barry Hawkins, has he started a comeback? What we know, he's stayed alive in the match.
The 4th frame. Martin Gould.
Hawkins is in the German Masters courtesy of a 62 clearance in the deciding frame to beat Stuart Carrington 5-4 in the final qualifying round, after beating Michael White 5-1 in the first qualifying round. That was back in December. And it's that fighting spirit he needs here. But that's been the problem in this final. Those long balls have just not been finding the pocket. The Reds smashed. Pound signs in the eyes of Gould. Picks up his chalk off the table, swipes it away in disgust because he's on the incorrect side of the blue. Pink won't go, black hemmed in. I'm sure that Martin Gould cannot believe where he was. He's got the cue ball there. He could not have struck that any better, both in terms of topspin and indeed left-hand side. You always hear commentators, myself included, say that players have struck a shot too well for their own good, and that was a prime example.
Seven.
Well, the white there seemed to skid initially.
11.
He's playing safe here, and no potting window whatsoever. And so to put together only 11 from that chance, that's disappointing. Well, there was a potting window. How about that? A gap through the reds.
12.
Shot to nothing, of course. I have a needle stuff that. But it's only given Gould one extra point.
Yellow ball. Batting goal 12.
When you run out of position in a break, it's easy to be disconsolate and slapdash with your safety. It's really important to concentrate hard on that and try and put your opponent in as awkward a position as is possible. And I think Gould has done just that. Hawkins couldn't see any kind of attacking safety, so just had to be reliant on containment. Which means, of course, that Gould retains the tactical initiative. Does have a couple of tough pots on, just weighing up whether it's worth taking the risk, and you have to think not. The big thing there was avoiding the red coming back up towards baulk, and that's what Hawkins has done. Tap on the table from Gould, who appreciates that shot required accuracy of contact. That was a two birds with one stone shot from Hawkins. Yes, he wanted to play the safety, but also he realised it was a chance to get the black back into some form of commission. Excellent from Gould. And not too shabby from Hawkins either. Fighting so hard to win the final of Group 6. Had the cue ball made a couple of extra revolutions there, Hawkins would have been in serious strife in behind the brown. It's not too clever for him as it is. We've been saying all the way through this group, Gould excels when it comes to potting balls from distance. Has he got another in the locker, or is he going to be patient again? Well, this red goes, it's a shot to nothing. Caught it too thick, but at least the safety aspect of the shot couldn't be faulted. In fairness, you have to say he's a little fortunate to leave hampered cueing with the brown. But Hawkins wasn't too hampered on that one. Spied his own shot to nothing.
Hawkins won.
Now that shot was very, very well played. To people who don't play a lot of snooker, they assume that that kind of tickling behind a baulk colour is just routine. It is not. To be that precise demands an excellent touch. The slower the table, the easier it is.
Foul, miss. Hawkins foul.
Now then, foul and a miss called, but there's no way that Hawkins is going to have that cue ball replaced.
What? 7. 8. 40. 50. 21. 22. Yeah.
We've not seen an awful lot of kicks over the last 4 days, as Rob Spencer drops his zapper, which works the scoreboard. Clearly, though, Hawkins has seen something on the white he doesn't like. At this juncture, the last thing you need to do is take an unnecessary risk with any kind of abnormal contact. Hawkins will gladly settle for that.
28.
3 choices, really.
$29. 35. 36. 42.
Looming 2-2. Looks like this final is going to a decider at the moment.
43.
Hawkins already on a break of 43. 36 points to the good.
No. 50.
Coming up, frame ball. Hawkins 49 ahead, currently 51 on. No mistake.
63. Barry Hawkins 63 in the frame.
Gould concedes in back-to-back frames from the brink of defeat. Barry Hawkins has made the two highest breaks of the match. 80 in the third, 63. So he's third final of a group. Is it going to be third time lucky?
Barry Hawkins to match.
Group 6 has consisted of 24 best-of-5 frame matches. It's all come down to a single frame. Over the years in deciders all around the country, all around the world, we've seen so many drawn out battles. We've also seen many clear-cut victories when a player has got in and finished it off in a single hit. How will this one pan out? Needed to check up the white there to avoid the pink. Red close to a middle pocket, but I think the yellow's in the way. The red needs to travel. Oh, I don't think it has. Had the red rolled another half an inch, there's no way that's cuttable. It's borderline now. Just about squeezed it in, but to no avail.
Thank you. Green ball.
Well, I said to no avail, not taking into consideration what a fine potter Gould is from distance.
4.
A daring green, especially played at that pace. What a shot.
5.
Could that be a frame, a match and a group winner? Remember, he had first chance
10.
in frame 4. Didn't make much of it.
11. $18. 19.
He's made of stern stuff, is Martin Gould. He's a ranking event winner, former German Masters champion. He's won 3 other professional tournaments, including this. He knows what it takes, likes the format, often performs well in this event. And he's doing so again.
$26. 27.
Gave the cue ball a little extra oomph there to make sure he didn't snooker himself on the black. And in the end, it was considerably too much oomph. Good pot, just wriggling in off the near jaw.
34.
But the Reds look as though they haven't cooperated. Is he seriously contemplating this plant? So much distance between the two Reds concerned. Not decisive by any means, but it's a very useful platform. Gould's break concludes at 34. Can Gould pull out another firecracker? Oh, you better believe he can. He's pot on the green after the initial red in this decider was excellent. There's an argument to say that was even better. Beautifully cued. Ideal position on the blue. Now then, Barry Hawkins has just become seriously worried. Red's nicely open. Wide range of colours on their spots. Only the pink off, in fact. And Gould already 41 points in front. Not as played. The two reds will go to the left-hand middle. Looks like being a very profitable couple of days for Martin Gould. Yet again in this Championship League.
$18. $90.
Less than a handful of balls away now from wrapping this up.
$26. $27.
A possible 67 on the table for Hawkins. So the black to leave Hawkins requiring a snooker. And you would think one more red and the fat lady would be singing.
34. $35.
And it's Gould's great strength, potting from distance, which has been the key to winning this decider. A daring green trickled in early on, held together a break of 34. And then a really good red to initiate
42.
What's currently a break of 42. The decisive blow.
Martin Gould. 42.
76 the difference. 59 on the table. Martin Gould laughing because I think he anticipated shaking hands with Barry Hawkins there, but Hawkins just giving it a go. It's a forlorn hope. And it certainly is now. So there it is. 4 days of Championship League snooker here this week at the Ricoh Arena in Coventry are over.